Russia's Baltic Fleet has launched a scheduled naval exercise, the Russian military announced on Tuesday. According to Associated Press, more than 20 warships, boats, and support vessels are participating in the drills, including a frigate, corvettes, minesweepers, and small missile and anti-submarine ships. Around 3,000 servicemen, 25 aircraft and helicopters, and up to 70 units of military and special equipment are involved, officials said. According to the military, the ships have departed their bases and deployed to designated areas of the Baltic Sea to carry out combat training missions. The China-Cambodia Golden Dragon 2025 joint exercise staged a live force drill on Monday in both maritime and aerial zones near Cambodia's Sihanoukville port, Chinese state broadcaster CCTV reported. According to Associated Press, the operation, involving 11 naval vessels and 3 helicopters from both countries, simulated a scenario where terrorists hijacked a cargo ship, CCTV said. The joint forces carried out coordinated counter-terrorism and anti-hijacking missions, which included coordinated response, escort procedures, counter-terrorism and anti-piracy operations, as well as integrated maritime and air search and rescue efforts, according to the state media. Later in the day, the two forces held a closing ceremony for the drills. This is the first air-sea live force exercise in the Golden Dragon series of joint exercises, and the first time the Cambodia-China Joint Support and Training Center at Port Ream was utilized in the live force operation, according to state-owned Chinese news agency Xinhua. The joint military drill started May 14 and marks Cambodia's latest and largest joint drill with China. Cambodia is China's closest ally in Southeast Asia. Beijing has helped fund an expansion of the Ream naval base on Cambodia's southern coast, raising worries it could become a strategic outpost for the Chinese Navy in the Gulf of Thailand. Cambodia has repeatedly denied any agreement granting China special privileges or the establishment of a foreign military base.
收到解救被劫持船只指令后，中方长白山舰、攀枝花舰、广元舰和检方8艘舰艇迅速向目标海域机动，搜索被恐怖分子劫持的船只。发现可疑目标后，直升机起飞查证，确认目标为被劫持船只。经喊话劝降无果，舰艇编队转向进入射击阵围。主方做好对海射指挥。中国海军攀枝花舰使用主炮对目标实施拦阻射击，直升机发射热铀弹进行警告，逼停被劫持船只。舰艇编队对恐怖分子实施风控警戒，突击艇快速前出，突击小队登上被劫持船只进行临检拿捕。缉拿过程中，恐怖分子拒不投降，负隅顽抗，导致人员落水。直升机前出进行救捞。舰艇接收到伤员后，随舰中检双方医护人员进行现场紧急救治。待伤员生命体征平稳后，直升机将其转运后方医院治疗。
互相交流学习，共同提高，期待组织更大规模的两国海空军联演。
空联合实兵演练是首次依托中检云壤港联合保障和训练中心组织实兵演练。实兵演练聚焦海上联合反恐反劫持行动，重点演练联合响应、 实兵演练结束后，在海军长白山舰举行结束仪式，中检双方部分参演官兵参加，中检双方代表分别致辞。
检方官兵在海上行动中有更多、更深入的合作交流，双方之间配合得很默契，演练达到了预期目的。
The Kremlin has issued a fake about the heroic rescue of Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, whose helicopter allegedly found itself in the epicenter of a massive attack by Ukrainian drones in the Kursk region. There are serious grounds to believe that this was a crude staging. The intensity of the attack during the flight of the Supreme Commander-in-Chief's aircraft over the territory of the Kursk region increased significantly. Therefore, we simultaneously conducted anti-aircraft combat and ensured the safety of the president's helicopter in the air. In fact, Putin's helicopter was at the epicenter of repelling the enemy's massive attack. The officer of the Russian armed forces, who was obviously tasked with voicing this fairy tale, stated in a rehearsed and unconvincing manner. From the very first words, it became clear that we are not looking at an eyewitness account, but at a carefully rehearsed text. The lack of living details, the repetition of memorized phrases, and the obvious strain in the intonation betray the falseness. It seems that the officer is merely relaying a manual, handed down from above, without having any real relation to the events described. The main question that arises when analyzing this story is whether Putin was in the Kursk region at all at the same time in question. Considering the Russian leader's panic fear for his safety, his extremely rare and always carefully staged appearances among the people, the very assumption of his personal presence in the frontline region raises serious doubts. Putin very rarely leaves his residence, preferring to distance himself as much as possible from any risks. His meetings with ordinary Russians have long been the talk of the town. Numerous journalistic investigations have repeatedly exposed how the role of ordinary citizens at such events is played by employees of the FSO and other special services, carefully selected and instructed. If Putin does visit any regions, it happens under conditions of unprecedented security measures, and information about his movements is kept in the strictest confidence. It is unlikely that his helicopter could have been at the epicenter of a real drone attack. Rather, this whole story is just another attempt to create a heroic aura around a figure who in reality prefers to be in a deep bunker, far from any danger. It is important to note that the Kremlin has previously told a story about the alleged shooting down of a helicopter with Putin on board. The dictator himself claimed that in 2000 that he mistook a strike on his aircraft in Chechnya for a salute. There is no evidence that this story actually happened.